Good day, everyone. I am Judy Cristal de Castellan, and I'll be reporting about premises of child guidance, um, principle of child guidance, and the suggestion of counselors to parents to help improve their students or learners. So this is the continuation of the report of Miss Jen Francie Balanay and Sanvi Mark Buhian. So, So I'll be staying at this side so that I will be able to put my PowerPoint at this side. I printed the PowerPoint presentation, but I know this would not be clear, but for the while I am reporting, I will be just using this. So now, let's move on to the premises of child guidance. So what do you mean by premises? It usually refers to the scope or the area. So what are the area of child guidance? The first is primary. So these are the assertion and proposition. So the first is primary responsibility for the development and well-being of children lies within the family. And all segments of society must support families as they rear their children. There is no doubt, di ba? The primary responsibility always lies within the family. We all know that our first environment or our first vicinity is within the family. And then our first teachers are our parents. So, the primary responsibility for our development and well-being always lies within the family, since it's where you were nurtured, right? And this also, the family needs the support of the society to have a well-rounded development and a well-rounded being. It's because the society will give the programs and services for you to achieve the development, or to provide the adequate need for you to achieve a well-rounded development. Next, assuring the child well-being of all families is the cornerstone of the healthy society and requires universal access to programs and services that provide resources and support for the varying needs of family. So this is what I am saying. Know that a healthy family reflects a healthy society. Since a society is made up of family, and family is the basic unit, so the society must give support. There are kanang needs of each family, so that will be given by the society. So the society must assure to give access of the programs and services. Like for example, health clinic. Those are the services provided by the government, and the family needs that, right? Okay, of course, there were time na pwede ta magkasakit, or we need ganang help from the practitioners, right? And other varying needs is, for example, right now that we are facing the pandemic, kaning mga ayuda, those are the services given to help each family. And the third is, children are best served in the context of their families, and families are best served in the context of their communities. So this is what I am saying. A healthy family reflects a healthy society. And next is, child rearing patterns are influenced by parents' understanding of child development and their children's unique characteristic, personal sense of competence, and cultural community traditions and values. So we all have this set of values. Each of us have this set of values wherein mo natong ginahold as a person. That's what you believe, and your parents are the first person you nurtured, who nurtured you for that. And also, are these values and our culture, we learn this pwede subconsciously and pwede consciously. Those are kanang, there are values nga directly served and some are not directly served, like mora imong nakita. So so the patterns of the child are influenced by parents. So parents are the first teacher. So they always influence their child. So the child guidance does not, this means that the child guidance does not only limit within the four walls of this classroom, because the parents also influence the child rearing pattern of the child. The next is enabling families to build on their own strengths and capacities promotes the healthy development of a children. So a healthy family, of course, produce a healthy children, or a healthy child. The family must always know nga they must support their children and build their own strengths to promote a healthy or produce a healthy child. Next is the development processes that makes up parenthood and family life creates needs that are unique at each stage in the lifespan. And next, families are empowered when they have access to information and other resources and take action to improve the well-being of children, families, and communities. So know that we should note that a empowered society also produce an empowered family. It is because a family is empowered when their needs are given and they have the access of these programs and services. So let's move on to the principles of child guidance. The following principles are the beliefs and values and how services, support, and resources to be made available to the participants. First is staff and families work together in relationships based on equality and respect. So there is a kind of universal saying na do not do to others if you don't want others to do unto you. This shows kanang everyone is fair and everyone deserves to be respected because we have kanang the same level of human dignity and worth. And then this must be kanang of staffs and families should work on that so that the children or the child will see nga others equality and respect, and that's what they get, or that's what they will be able to learn. Next is staff enhances family capacity to support the growth and development of all members. Third, families are the resources to their own members, to their families, to programs, and to communities. There is no doubt it's because the society is always made up of family. Fourth, programs affirms and strengthens families' cultural, racial, and linguistic identities and enhance their ability to function in a multicultural society. So the parents and teachers should provide programs nga students or the participants or the learner will have the wide access of kanang information. They should not be only limited on kanang what's on their kuan nga mora ni accept. They should be open on they must be open all about the facts and information about the world. And they must also learn the diversity of culture, not to avoid discrimination and kanang bullying of the differences. Fifth, So next is programs are embedded in their communities and contribute to the community building progress. So the community must have kanang programs to help the building process of each families or each member of the community. Next, programs advocate with families for services and systems that are fair, responsive, and accountable to the families served. Next is practitioners work with families to mobilize formal and informal resources to support family development. So how those practitioners, so know that kanang practitioner are those people who practice practitioners are persons who practices a profession. And how will they be able to connect with family? It is through seminars or webinars. Next is programs are flexible and continually responsive to emerging family and community issues. So, like for example, just a month ago, we had I was able to join a meeting in our barangay about this the trash. So people always are now using masks, and then they just, especially those surgical masks, they only throw it everywhere after using. So the barangay had seen that, and then they created a program which is making a trash mini house that's called MRF mini house, wherein all those there will be trash cans or trash bins in front or at side or at the back of your house para easy na mulabay. And that is one of the programs wherein makita nimo nga ilang gi tagaan og kasulbaran or ilang gi tagaag solusyon ang usa ka issue. So in order for these programs to be effective, those principles that are mentioned must be incorporated into all programs activity, including planning, governance, and administrations. Next, let's first to parents suggestions to improve child's academic skills. So we all know, no, we cannot deny the fact that students or learners, if given tasks or assignments, they will take it as a burden. As a parent, it's your responsibility to tell to your students or your children or your learners that assignments are not a burden. Instead, it is an assessment wherein it will assess what they have learned in school, and the learnings or the information or education must not be only available within a four-wall classroom. It must be also incorporated within the house or at home. That's why assignments are given. So the counselor suggested to parents are the following. This is to improve the children's academic skills. First is to review. Once the assignment is complete, have your child review it with you. Parents, especially now that we are facing or we are in health crisis, parents are the only parents are now answering the modules of their learners, which is wrong. You should not be the one who will answer that. Instead, you will be only serve as the guide, or if there is question, you will be the one who will make things clear, not necessarily nga ikaw na jud mismo as a parent will answer, because it's not your module, it's not for you, but it's for your children. And for them to be confident on their answers, as a parent, it's your responsibility to review and tell them asa nga part sila nasayop or asa nga part needs improvement. Next is don't enable. If your children forgets their homework at home, let them handle the consequences. Do not go to school. Like some parents, especially parents at this moment or at this generation, they tend to go to the offices, especially if their student wasn't able to answer their kaning assignments. And then of course teacher will impose punishments, and as a parent you need to understand that it is a part of kanang learning. Do not kanang murag do not what do you say, how do you say this, ayaw konsintiha imuhang learner. Let them face the consequences. Do not go to the office. Do not run to kanang division wherein magreklamo ka dito. No, do not. Let your students learn. And then, especially now that we have Rafi Tulfo, parents wherein kanang ilang students na punish, they will run to this programs, which is they will run into this kaning programs or TV programs in which very unprofessional, and it's not really helping the students. Let them learn on their own. Let them learn on their mistakes. Next is set an example. Take time to turn off all electronics and read together as a family. So tell me who your it's like a saying of tell me who your parents are and I'll tell you who you are. Be a good example of your student or children. Do not say nga, oh, lakaw pagtuon dito, pero ikaw you're on your phone. O lakaw pagtrabaho dito, pero ikaw galingkod ra ka. That's not a good example. When we say set an example, do first. Let your child see nga amo ni gibuhat ni mama, amo ni gibuhat sa ako ang ate or kuya. So if you want your kanang children to read, then you must be an example. You must also show na wala ka ga idle, wala ka ga kuan og phone, instead you are reading. Next is praise. Praise the process, not the outcome. This is murag very common among parents. Me as a student or me as a learner, when I was in high school, my parents always pressure me. And then nga murag sige kuan hadto din. But mo ni buhata dapat man imong ma-achieve. They always put standards. And then at the end, they are not praising your process. They have not seen your process. Instead, gaon ra ka mo na. Then murag it's a discouragement to students. Murag dito mas discourage sila nga why. So and then with that, if ma-discourage na sila, they will not get the motivation to continue. So praise the outcome. Praise the process, not the outcome, because it's where students nga murag, it's where the child see nga nakita ni mama akong effort, and then we're in, wow, I need to do this the best that I can. Di na nila mahatag nila ilang best shot. Next is communicate with the teacher and school. If your child constantly says, I don't have homework, check with the teacher. Always ask the teacher kanang the agenda. Always check the teacher how your child is. It's very also important for you to improve the academic skills. It is nice nga murag you are well informed on the performance of your students, because the performance of the students does not only base on what have the school had given. The performance also the performance of the students or the behavior of the students is also influenced by the parents and by his surroundings. Third, next, get involved. Make sure you attend open house, curriculum night, and other informative meetings. offered by the schools. Teachers make an effort to involve and parents about their child's curriculum. And next, encourage your child to develop a positive attitude about homework. So how parents will be able to do that? How will they encourage the learners? It is through tell them nga homework is for you to hasten or harness your skills. Like for example, may anak ka nga kaning an athlete, he needs or she needs to practice every day to improve his skills. And the same thing with the homework, for you to achieve or kanang improve your academic skills, you need to do an assignment. It's not a burden. Instead, it's an activity that it will help you to learn more and to assess yourself whether you have learned or not. Next is show an interest. Ask your children what they did in school each day. If they learn a new skill, ask them to teach it to you. So this is also a very important thing as when you have a child. I grew up I was really pressured by my parents, and then at the same time they're also busy because my mother is a teacher at that time and my father is a tricycle driver. So when they get home, they will be really tired. And then I also have felt down at that time nga murag, why are they not interested? Do they really care about me? So parents must also show interest para ang students ma-motivate and to keep their drive up, dili ma-lose ang ilang interest to study, dili mawad-an sila og motivation. And then next is pick up a place or any place we're in that will serve as the learning area of the child. So know that our learners is different. They are very different. Some learn through seeing images, some by listening. So provide a learning area wherein na hatag ang adequate needs for your children to learn, because there are children, they learn most when they are in a silent area, while children learn most if na sila ng open area. So provide an setting. Next is schedule. Pick a good time for doing homework. Consider the amount of homework your child has to do and allow enough time in his or her schedule to complete it. And then establish a rule. For example, you cannot turn on the TV if you have not done your assignment yet. This is very helpful put. Next is space. Give them their own space. Do not sit with them or be on top of them while they are working, because students, if ang parents na they tend to magsika na lang sila og dili ko kabaluan dili ko kabaluan No, let them learn on their own so that they will be able to learn, and at the same time they will be independent. Because if you are on their side, they will be depending on you always. Magsigil sila pangutana, magsigil lang sila og patug-an nimo, or it will end up nga ikaw na lang jury mag-answer. Next is organization. Hang up a wall calendar with daily or weekly and monthly events and due dates. Teach your child to plan ahead. So I have seen that most parents very important to improve your academic skills. My parents did not teach me on this, and I really have bad when it comes to time management. I always tend to procrastinate. So teach your students teachers students so that they will be able to have a good time management wherein mabuhat nila ang ilang activities on time, and they will be disciplined on doing things. Next is prioritize. Do not overload your child with after school activities. Homework and school should come first. If you have to cut back, prioritize and cut back on activities. So, tell your students what to prioritize. Kaya for example, if magsigira silang dula and at the end, morning na sila makarealize nga ana pa sila yung assignments. Dito, magkuan na ang students. Masigaw na, mawala na sa mood, and then discourage phone calls during homework. However, encourage them to get classmate phone numbers to call with question about assignments. Do not allow them to just sit there and use their phones all day. Allow them kanang murag they may have the kuan, because discussion and kanang brainstorming is very important, but let's go back to prioritize. They must prioritize and they must kanang know what should be done first. Next, don't rush your child when he or she is doing homework. Expect neat work and expect their best work. Just remember to have them take their time and give their best effort. So allow them to have their time, or to know that learners have different pace of learning. We all can learn, but in different time and in different way. So know that your children needs time, pero do not allow them take the whole day. Ayaw pod murag masubraan na pod nga, magkuan na lang ko, mag-assignment na lang ko, tibok all di ada, tas bitaw kog oras. Do not do that. Next is reward. Let children earn their rewards. Set up expectation. You need to kanang put standards also para naay goal, because goal is very important. That would be kanang a big help for the students. They must have goal. They must have something wherein ilang i-achieve, wherein they are looking up to. And then give them a reward when they reach that goal. For example, after you can do your assignment, or after you finish a homework, you can watch TV, or you can read Wattpad, or you can do this, you can do that. That's very important para pod ma-motivate ang students, and then they have the drive to continue and finish the work or the assignment. And now let's move on to testing tips for parents during the year. First is meet your child's teacher. Attend parent-teacher conference and find out information or exact skills your child will be learning, the types of project he or she will be working on, and what can you do to help your child achieve in school. So parents must always attend meeting and meet their teachers, para ahead of time they know what to do and how to help their learner, because parents always need the help of a parent. Next is stay in touch with your child's teacher. Communicate through agenda books and other means to ensure that your child does not fall behind. No, always ask for an update for your child. It is very important because we don't know if your child gets bullied every day or naaba siya problema, so that you would be able to do the precautionary things you need to do. Let your child know your expectation. Let your child know that you are confident in his or her abilities. For example, you as a parent, you will say nga, lang, kaya ra magud na ani mo, bread man gud ka. Those are affirmations wherein murag maka-change sa perspective sa students, and then it will help them believe in themselves and actually do it, and actually become that person, become that smart person. So know that you have trust your child. It's very important ka maka-feel ang child nga nituo si mama na ako and I will do this. I will not disappoint my parent. It will also help them to motivate. Next is reduce stress over homeworks and grades. Know that parents should know this because parents always pressure students without knowing na achieving a high grade needs a lot of effort. And there are different pace of learners. Some learners may not be able to learn right away, and teacher put standards. Then parents should understand na grades does not define your children. It's just that they will learn, but maybe not on the right time. Maybe the teaching strategy, maybe the teaching strategy of the teacher doesn't suit your student. Do not pressure them too much. Instead, motivate them and know what's the problem, what else can you do to help. And next is make learning fun. If you are fighting with your child to get their homework done, you probably frustrated and they probably not learn. Yes. So make learning fun. Do not push them or force them to do this, do that, finish that. Instead, you will find any other means or other ways para ma-learn. For example, in doing an assignment. O sige, what is your assignment today? I will search for words and then you will search for their meaning so that you would be able to know that. In that way, you are also helping your child to do their homework. Do not get easily angry. Be patient on your children or on your child. Next is play word games like Bogle Jr., Google, Scrabble. They reinforce reading skills while you and your children are having fun. And then next, let the teacher know you are interested in your child's performance. Ask them continually, like how is my kumusta na ako ang anak, kumusta na akong student, kumusta na akong learner, kumusta na akong child. Para pod you would be able to know on which aspect galuya imong anak and you would be able to reinforce help or support. Next is be encouraging and supportive all year. Not just at testing time. Make sure your child attends class regularly. Dili siya ma-late, dili siya murag sobra na kasayo. And make sure nga he completes all his projects, all his assignments. A child who feels about himself or herself will always do better than a child who is afraid of failing. And next is read and write with your child. Take time to read. Take time to read and discuss with him about the characters, about the plot, and make him predict the end. And then next, instill in your child the love of reading. You should also be how will you be able to instill to your child to love reading? You need to be an example also. You need to read. Kaya unsay makita sa child, mo punay buhaton niya. Munay maset as example. And then instill, it's because when you read, you will be able to get many facts and information that are very useful. Next, support learning at school by helping your child learn at home. A place to study is for Next is support learning at school by helping your child learn at home. So know that learning does not only limit to the four walls of the classroom. Create a learning area wherein at home, a child can do their homework or he or she can study. Establish a regular time for homework each afternoon or evening. Set aside a quiet or well-lit place and encourage your child to review the day's lesson and to study. Keep pencils, pen, paper, and markers handy for notes, lists, and schoolwork. Writing takes place and it starts and it is reinforced at home. So, learning always starts at home. So, parents should create a learning area wherein the needs of a students are given. Okay, again, the education does not only limit in the four walls of the classroom. It is first reinforced at home. And then, limit the time amount of television and video games and cell phones. You should always kanang be responsible on your of your child. Do not allow them to have a lot of time doing video games, a lot of time as scrolling with their phone. Do not limit them and kanang murag i-supervise imong child. Travel to the supermarkets, museum, and other states and other countries if possible. Talk to your child about these experiences. Tell them about your experiences and about your learnings. Next, volunteer to help with school activities. Parents must also coordinate with the parents or parents must also coordinate with the teachers and help them para murag makita sa students ay Next is volunteer to help with school activities. Parents should also give hand and coordinate with the teachers. And the next, talk to your child and listen to what he or she has to say. Find out about your day, friends, and things that are really important to your child. So parents should be also a best friend to their child. They should also listen to the happenings of the child. They must ask how was their day, who is your friends, so that you would be able to know unsa na ang behavior sa imong learner. Because learner or child tends to change when they started to go to school. So you should supervise them. And then next is how to maximize the testing experience. On the day of the test, discuss what the test means. Reassure your child and advise him or her to listen carefully to the teacher's direction and try their best. Remind your child to read directions carefully and be on the lookout for directions that more than steps. So how will you be able to discourage? First is discourage cramming. Let your learner know nga you cannot remember all the things you studied nga in an hour, and then you cannot really learn if mag-study ra kag 1 hour. Like exam 1 hour before the exam din mo pa okay. So dili na siya, it's not helpful. So discourage cramming. Next is urge your child to take all the tests seriously and to keep working and do not give up on difficulties. Always tell your students nga take this seriously, because there are some students, we cannot really deny the fact that there are students nga murag letter C ra tanan ang answers and then ay hara kuan. Know that there are difficult. Tell them that there are these are just the challenges and these are helpful for you to learn and to develop your skills. Next, ensure your child gets a good night's sleep. This is what really common problem of today's learners. It's because of this technology, they tend to stay awake up all night. Murang discourage this because this is not helpful. Next, be sure your child is physically prepared the day of the testing. Prepare a lunch or breakfast that are healthy. Next, make everyday effort to have your child arrive at school promptly every day, but especially on the days of testing. Make testing, true, make up testing. Next, make everyday effort to have your child arrive at school promptly every day, but especially on the days of testing. Know that they need to be early on that, imo siyang i-encourage. And then, if naay mga unexpected nga panghitabo, like, kanang di siya pwede ay kanang marag di siya pwede kasulod, kay gadaot or unsa, gilantan, let your students nga pwede, naraman po yung make-up, pero naraman po yung make-up days for you to take the exam, but know that it is very kanang nice to take exam nga daghan mo or together with your classmates para mas comfortable ang students. And next, start the day with smooth takeoff and end it with a smooth landing. Try to maintain a relaxed atmosphere at home. In the morning, how a child begins the day greatly influences the events and outcome of the day. So, early in the morning, please parents should avoid kanang quarreling and then makadungog ang students. Kay it's the start of the day, and then mao pala yung makita nila away na si mama si papa, makagubag mood. Then don't forget the glasses. So if kanang your children needs glasses, always kanang or let them have their eye check. It's because students nowadays mostly magka-problema silang eyes because of kanang radiation in those the ilang nakuha from those technologies that are very accessible nowadays. So let them kanang have their eye check. Next, pass along any information about unusual circumstances on days, such as illness or other relevant information. Keep sick children, and lastly, keep sick children at home. If your child has a high temperature, especially nowadays, you must keep them at home. Do not kanang allow them to go out kay lisod na ang panahon. Give them time to rest and recuperate so they can get back to school as soon they are well. And then have kanang plan on how to achieve their goals. Help them. All for my report. I hope that you have learned something out from that. Thank you for listening and keep safe, everyone.